perfect sound that moves us and elevates us. Experience what it sounds like when perfect sound is set free. Meet Sonos Ace. Perfect sound now goes wherever you go. Discover Sonos Ace today.
A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
Probably Gasparino later on
Lara
that.
on. Why don't you bring her in, Rita?
Absolutely. Of course, RNC co-chairperson and daughter-in-law of President-elect Donald Trump, Lara Trump. Great to have you here, Lara.
Hi, guys. Great to be back with you.
We're thrilled. By the way, and this is my birthday, Lara, so you're our first guest on my birthday,
gosh.
so I'm thrilled.
Happy birthday. What an honor. Thanks for having me on.
We're thrilled to have you, Lara. And by the way, congratulations. First off, this weekend, it was amazing to watch your father-in-law walk into MSG at the UFC fights. He got a hero's welcome. I mean, it's been extraordinary. How is he doing? How are you guys doing?
Oh my gosh, he's doing incredible. I mean, to see that welcome, and look, my husband was there. I was fortunate enough over the summer to go with him to one of those UFC fights at the Prudential Center, and I can tell you it was electric. Eric told me that this was like 10 times that, and I think the incredible thing to see is that you're starting to get a vibe across the country that people are now unafraid, 100% unafraid to show their support for Donald Trump. Look, the prize fight, the last one of the night, you see the guy wins and he does the Donald Trump dance and points at my father-in-law. It's amazing. You see it on football fields. It's everywhere. But I think Americans feel lighter. I think we feel hopeful. And I think people are unafraid to finally say, yes, I voted for Donald Trump, and I'm going to wear a MAGA hat, and I'm going to do the Trump dance. And I couldn't be prouder of him. And I know he's doing incredibly well, working hard, obviously, on his cabinet and all of his administration, and cannot wait until January 20th rolls around.
Lara, are you surprised that so many more people are saying, yes, I voted for Donald Trump, too?
It's amazing, John. It's amazing to see. I would say I'm surprised, but I'm almost not, because this is the same sentiment that I've felt across the country. And I think we kind of reached a breaking point. And November 5th was it was really kind of a turning point in our country's history. And I think America chose the right direction for our future and for the future of the world, really. And I think Americans are finally proud to say that we are the United States again. We have a cheerleader who is going to be back in the White House. And I think the mandate that was delivered with 312 electoral votes, the popular vote by 5 million votes, the House, the Senate, overwhelmingly, people came out to support Donald Trump. So, John, I would say, yeah, you're in good company if you're out there with a MAGA hat or with a Trump flag on the top of your house. I think that is what this country has been yearning for. We have wanted a fighter and a champion. We got it back with Donald Trump for 4 more years, and I could not be more excited.
I agree. Lara, I describe it even better. There's 3,144 counties in the United States of America. Well, Harris only won like 525.
Wow.
Okay?
There you go.
That describes it even better. And I'm going to give you one more talking point. Ready? See, of all the states that Harris won, all of them, of the states she won, no voter ID. What does that mean?
I wonder why, John.
Are millions of listeners listening right now? Give me the reason why.
Must be a coincidence.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, it must be a coincidence. Listen, here's what I can tell you. We had 2 jobs at the RNC that we gave ourselves when Michael Watley and I took things over. We said we're going to get out the vote. We're going to protect the ballot. And election integrity was our number one focus in this election. And I think it paid off in spades. It's why there was no funny business. There was no question about anything. We still have attorneys on the ground, by the way, in Pennsylvania, because they are trying to cause something
in case you haven't learned, the breaking news are.
Yes, ready? Supreme Court.
The Judge, tell us the Supreme Court ruling in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania Supreme Court, Lara, said very simply that if it's not dated properly, the vote doesn't count,
Correct.
directing the county commissioners
that happened about
to count
20 minutes ago.
to count those votes.
They reiterated what we won
exactly
on November 1st, the case that they already
Well,
adjudicated.
but the same Supreme Court didn't say that in 2020.
Right, but we had to fight for that, and we had to ensure election integrity. And I'll tell you, one of the measures to ensure that you have election integrity is to make sure that people are using voter ID. That is integral to our system here in America. And when you have states like the state of California, where Gavin Newsom, the governor there, has overwhelmingly said, you do not need an ID. And not only that, we don't want you to take out an ID to vote. If you take it out, you almost get in trouble in California. It's ridiculous. And this is an issue that almost 90% of Americans agree on. Only American citizens should be voting in American elections, and you should have to prove who you are before you vote in the United States. And so I do think it's a real issue that I hope that we see taken up over the next 4 years and talked about, and maybe we have some kind of movement in Congress on, because I think that it is foundational to our country to have voter ID, to ensure only American citizens are voting, and to ensure election integrity. And I don't know what else I can say, John, but it's very coincidental that all the states Kamala Harris won no voter ID.
100% I agree with you. Now, the other one, Governor Newsom, maybe you have to ask Kimberly, because she knows Governor Newsom. How can he afford a new house in South Carolina that he just bought the new house the last few days or the last few weeks for $9.1 million on a governor's salary?
Wow. Isn't that the question? How is it Nancy Pelosi's got such a nice house on a congresswoman's salary? How is it that all these people seem to have nice houses with walls around them to secure them in their homes on these salaries? It is a great question, and I think we all know the answer to that question. And it's gross. It's what people don't like about politics. And I'll tell you, it's one of the things that I think people like the most about Donald Trump. He can't be bought. He can't be paid for. He's a person, don't forget, in 2015, until he became the Republican nominee, who funded his own campaign, didn't take a single penny from any outside entity, from any single donor. And I think it's why people love him so much. He's authentic to the core, and he's only doing this because he knows he can do the job necessary to save our country.
110%.
More politicians like Donald Trump.
I know him longer than you do.
That's true.
And
I'll take that, John. You can win that one.
Thank you. And what was the other thing I wanted to say?
Yeah, and Lara, by the way, first of all, let's talk about you. What about
Senate.
the Florida?
Are you going to run for the Senate?
Yes, Lara, we love you. We love you. I have North Carolina ties too. I love it.
Florida.
DeSantis said, right.
Florida, the Trumps won Florida by 1 million votes.
Handily.
So, Lara, you're going to win by at least 1 million votes.
Yeah. So, Lara, what are your plans? Because there's even reports that DeSantis might want to put himself in. What are you thinking?
Well, listen, this is obviously up to the governor, and I thought his post on X was very appropriate. I think that's exactly the kind of person who should be serving in Marco Rubio's Senate seat. And I have not had a conversation with him, but listen, I do know the Make America Great Again, America First agenda better than anyone. I've lived it for 9 years right alongside Donald Trump. I know the people of Florida. I've been a Florida resident for 3.5 years. And I've been really honored to serve as co-chair of the RNC throughout the duration of this campaign. And so, listen, if I'm asked to serve in the capacity of the United States Senate, it's something I would seriously consider. And I think we need great people in the Senate. We need confirmations for Donald Trump. We need people over the course of the next 4 years during Donald Trump's term who are going to work alongside of him to deliver the mandate that the American people said we must have. We want our country back. We want a closed border. We want more money in our pocket. We want no new wars. We want to end what's going on in the Middle East and in Europe. And so if it's something I'm asked to do, it would truly be an honor.
And we're there to support you.
Yes.
So God bless you and God bless America. And thank you so much for coming on. And we love you. And I hope you get it done.
Absolutely. And Lara, congrats. You kicked butt on this race. He got 76 million votes, more than any Republican ever. And that's a huge testament to you.
Someday when we find out who killed Kennedy, we're going to find out how Joe Biden got 81 million votes.
Yeah, but hopefully sooner than that. Hopefully
right.
sooner.
I think you're right.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lara. Thank you.